Republican Congressman Chip Roy has publicly threatened that the GOP will blow crap up if President Biden doesn't allow himself to be extorted by his party during the debt ceiling negotiations. Intrigued? Then click that like and subscribe and enjoy the video. So today is Tuesday, May 16th, and the president is supposed to meet once again with Kevin McCarthy, Chuck Schumer, and Mitch McConnell in order to discuss the raising of the debt ceiling. As you know, we are approaching the X date, which is when the Treasury Department officially runs out of means to pay the United States' current bills, which would trigger an economic default here in the United States. 8 million jobs would be lost, mortgages, insurance premiums, 401ks, savings accounts, all these things could potentially explode. It would trigger a massive global economic catastrophe since, of course, the U.S. is the backbone of the global economy. And June 1st is the purported X date, so we are right around the corner, all right? Now, during the standoff, as it were, I won't even call it negotiation because for much of the time, President Biden has rightly stuck to his guns and said, look, we need to have a clean debt ceiling break. The payment, the debt that we're trying to raise the debt ceiling to pay was debt that was mostly acquired under the Trump administration, a Republican president. It has nothing to do with future spending. He told Republicans, listen, if you have a problem with my spending priorities, then we have an appropriations process in which the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in Congress can negotiate future spending, but we have to deal with past spending, especially since, of course, it's bipartisan and the consequences would be extreme. That has been unpersuasive to Republicans, who are, again, bad faith and engaging in brinksmanship, as they did under the Obama administration multiple times, as they threatened to do under the Clinton administration, and as they attempted to do in 2021 under the Biden administration as well. So this is something that Republicans have done again and again and again. And for the most part, the president has seemed to find his resolve and said, we're not going to negotiate. But according to reports, of course, President Biden is now considering invoking the 14th Amendment, which basically demands that the United States not default on its debt. That's a matter of constitutional law. It's not federal statutory law. This is the supreme law of the land in an amendment written after the Civil War, which says, look, the U.S. cannot default on its debt. To default on the debt would be unconstitutional. So if Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling, as they are the only ones empowered to do it, the president can't raise the debt ceiling, then constitutional scholars are saying, well, then the president should invoke the 14th Amendment, disregard the debt ceiling, and order the Treasury to continue to pay the debts that we owe, the bills that we owe, since they were congressionally approved in the past. So anyway, that's what I want President Biden to do if Congress won't do its job. Republican Congressman Chip Roy feels differently. So he was on Twitter, and he was responding to a tweet from President Biden, which says, if America defaults on its debt, our economy would fall into recession, and our nation's global reputation would be damaged. MAGA Republicans should stop playing brinkmanship with the full faith and credit of the United States. It's a manufactured crisis, which is true. And Congressman Chip Roy, who is not a constitutional scholar, by the way, says it's a manufactured crisis. Finally, he gets something right, as it is the president manufacturing it. Now, he won't respond to this, but I responded to him. I said, bruh, didn't you threaten to blow crap up in petulant rage if the president obeys his constitutional obligation to not let the public debt be questioned via the 14th Amendment? And what I'm talking about is actually a conversation that Chip Roy, a Republican, had with a conservative publication called The National Review. The comment came during an NR, National Review Plus, call with Rich Lowry on Thursday, when Lowry asked if Chip Roy believes Biden will argue that the 14th Amendment allows the president to continue issuing debt because of the phrase in the amendment says that the public debt shall not be questioned. This is what Roy says. This is a sitting Republican congressman, I'll remind you. I don't think so, Roy said. The people downtown and the people know that the White House, even on the other side of the aisle, don't think so. I think they realize even that's a bridge too far. At the end of the day, they cannot deal with the full funding bill at the end of September without us. They know if they go down the road with this 14th Amendment argument, we will blow crap up. I'm serious. It will just be open warfare in terms of what we're going to deal with on the spending front if these SOBs try to go down this completely ... unconstitutional and stupid road. So that was a public threat, again, to continue to escalate brinkmanship and bad faith if the president pursues an option which many people regard, like Lawrence Tribe, Jamie Raskin, and other constitutional scholars, not just attorneys, but constitutional experts, which, again, Chip Roy is not, that basically if the president doesn't allow himself to be extorted by the Republican caucus in the House of Representatives, they will not only try to make the country default, they will, again, just in his words, open warfare in Congress during the appropriation side of things. That just goes to show you, again, how petulant and disgusting this party is. And this is, again, something that is unique to the Republican Party.